Before Iron Man ever flew across the screen, before the Avengers assembled, the Marvel timeline had already begun. Not with heroes, but with history. In the Marvel Universe, some of the most important events happened long before modern civilization. Ancient civilizations were shaped by powerful objects known as Infinity Stones. These stones influenced wars, beliefs, and the rise and fall of empires. At the same time, beings far beyond Earth were watching. Advanced races, hidden protectors, silent threats. Wakanda was already thriving in secrecy. Asgard was guarding the Nine Realms. And the concept of heroes existed long before the word Avenger was ever spoken. But this era wasn't about saving the world. It was about balance. Power existed, but it was control. The universe was stable, but fragile. And that balance would not last forever. Because every timeline has a moment where everything changes. For Marvel, that moment wouldn't come from the stars. It would come from a man. The modern Marvel timeline begins with a simple idea. What if heroes were human? Tony Stark wasn't chosen because he was perfect. He was chosen because he was flawed. Iron Man marked a turning point. For the first time, a superhero movie acknowledged consequences. Fear, responsibility. And something else happened quietly. The world learned it wasn't alone. As Iron Man continued, other heroes emerged. Each one different. Each one reacting to the same truth. The universe was getting bigger and more dangerous. By the time the Avengers assembled, the timeline had officially changed. Heroes were no longer myths. They were public figures. Governments noticed. Enemies adapted. And threats escalated. This era wasn't about destiny. It was about reaction. Heroes were responding to danger, not preventing it. And that delay would cost them later. As the Marvel timeline progressed, one theme became clear. Every action had consequences. Saving the world came with damage. Cities were destroyed. Lives were lost. Trust was broken. This led to division, not between heroes and villains, but between heroes themselves. Different beliefs, different priorities, different fears. The timeline began to fracture. Some heroes believed protection required control. Others believed freedom mattered more. And while they argued, something darker was approaching. A threat that didn't care about politics, or morality, or heroes. This period of the Marvel timeline was the calm before the storm. Because while Earth was distracted, the universe was preparing for balance to be enforced. Infinity War wasn't just a battle. It was a breaking point in time. For the first time, the heroes lost. Entire futures vanished in seconds. Families were erased. Hope was reduced to memory. The timeline split here. One path ended in silence. The other continued with regret. Endgame wasn't about revenge. It was about correction. Heroes weren't trying to win anymore. They were trying to undo. Time travel entered the timeline, not as a gimmick, but as a last resort. Every jump risked everything. Every change threatened reality. And in the end, the timeline was restored. But never the same. Some losses were permanent. Some heroes never returned. The universe moved forward, but it remembered. After Endgame, the Marvel timeline didn't reset. It evolved. The world had to learn how to live without its protectors. New heroes emerged. Old legends faded. And the consequences of time travel began to show. The multiverse wasn't created suddenly. It was unlocked. Timelines that were once sealed began to interact. Choices created branches. Mistakes created echoes. The Marvel timeline was no longer a straight line. It became a web. Some stories overlapped. Others contradicted each other. And that confusion was intentional. Marvel wasn't just telling one story anymore. It was exploring possibilities. This era is about identity, legacy, and uncertainty. The universe survived, but its future is undefined. And that's where we are now, at the edge of a timeline still being written. The Space Stone landed on Earth as the Tesseract, guarded by Asgard. 2008, Tony Stark becomes Iron Man. Heroes emerge. Captain America awakens. Thor arrives. The Avengers unite against Loki in 2012. Ultron rises in 2015. Guardians join the fight. Civil War divides heroes in 2016 as Accords spark conflict. Thanos' quest for all stones. Infinity War 2018. Half the universe dusts. Endgame 2023. Heroes time travel, defeat him. Loki branches the timeline. Multiverse expands in WandaVision, No Way Home, Beyond. This is the Marvel timeline, from its hidden beginnings to its uncertain future. If this helped you understand Marvel better, subscribe to Plot Prism. Every Sunday, we break down the stories that shaped modern cinema. And next week, we'll explore one question. Was the multiverse always planned? Stay tuned.